Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. We're here today to continue with our list challenges for CaribAthon. I have a little person who's also singing the CaribAthon jingle. Isn't that sweet? So we've been going through the CaribAthon hashtag and using different letters to represent different things as an acrostic kind of, or an acronym. So today we're up to letter T and we're using T to represent trauma or tragedy. Thank you. So I'm going to be sharing with you some Caribbean books that I have read that feature tragedy as a central part of the novel. And we're going to be starting with How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House by Sherry Jones. Sherry Jones's writing is brilliant, it's gripping, it's immersive. This book, however, also includes a really traumatic thing happening to a child, which is one of my greatest fears. And it doesn't make this book any less readable, even though you know that this terrible thing is happening. It also makes you want to read the book just because of Jones's writing. It's really gripping, it's really immersive, and I can't recommend this book enough, no matter how intense it is. Another book that I wish for a different ending, Augusttown by Kai Miller. This was my introduction to Kai Miller's writings. I've since read 2 others of his novels, and I don't stop recommending his work either. This, however, has a scene where there's a tragedy that you're leading up to in this book, and you keep telling yourself that there's another way for this book to be resolved. And of course, I can't spoil it for you. I can't let you know whether it works out or not, but tragedy or potential tragedy. In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez features 4 real-life sisters growing up in the Dominican Republic, and we know that 3 of these 4 sisters are killed, and it makes it hard but also really intense to read about young girls growing up knowing that they won't survive to the end of this book. So a very intense story, but also a really great introduction to life in the Dominican Republic under the Trujillo dictatorship. Julia Alvarez is a master of storytelling, the way she presents this real life story as a novel. In 2010, there was a devastating earthquake in Haiti, and thousands of people are reported to have lost their lives. And the stories that have come out of that tragedy are powerful because it represents the stories of people who lost their lives, but also the stories of survivors and how terrible circumstances were even for the survivors. So 2 books that center on that story are God Loves Haiti by Dimitri Elias Leger and What Storm, What Thunder by Miriam J.A. Chansey. Both of these are high recommendations for you to learn a little bit more about the conditions in Haiti before, during, and after the earthquake. And highly recommend these books, although they deal with very traumatic times. And this has tragedy right there in the title. The Wondrous and Tragic Life of Ivan and Ivana by Maurice Conde features the life of twins. And we get to see the duality of experiences of 2 people who are born in the same time and should have the same kind of circumstances surrounding their upbringing. But because one is male and one is female, we get to kind of focus on gender differences and what is possible for young people, and how sometimes no matter what you do, you can't avoid a certain fate or fatality. Brilliantly told story, I think. And A Million Aunties by Alicia Mackenzie. This one has a happier ending, but it starts with trauma because we see how someone who is reeling from the loss of people who are close to him, how he deals with those losses, how he deals with that tragedy, and also how he deals. Okay, put the spray back in the bag. We see a little bit about how he deals with that trauma, how he deals with the tragedy, and who are some of the people who help him to pick up the pieces. And it also, there's a spoiler in the titles, A Million Aunties, women, surrogate mothers, aunties. And this is one of my favorite novels from my teenage years, The Wine of Astonishment by Earl Lovelace. Auntie, yeah, it's the aunties. You want to hold the book? Sit down. And this is one of my favorite novels from my teenage years. The Wine of Astonishment by Earl Lovelace is... Hold it like this.
It's my favorite.
Good job. Okay, now hold this one. And this is one of my favorite novels from my teenage years. The Wine of Astonishment. And in this one, we get to see what sacrifice for people requires of the hero, and it's tragic. It's tragic to witness, but it's also tragic to think about what life would have been like if not for the sacrifices of those who put public service ahead of their own lives, ahead of their own dreams and their own desires. So yeah, those are 8 books that I own and have read that feature tragedy. And despite the darkness in parts of the book, I recommend and continue to recommend those titles. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. We'll be back soon. Thumbs up. We'll be back soon with more Caribbean book recommendations and CaribAthon content. I hope you'll join me for that. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, and until we come back for another video, happy reading. Bye.
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 You're cute. Favorite novels from my teenage years. This is The Wine of Astonishment by Earl Lovelace, and it focuses on politics and how politics changes people, how our desires are colored and continue to color our perspectives and our intentions. And there is a hero here, maybe an unlikely hero, and we get to see what sacrifice requires of him, and we get to see what the sacrifice. And this one has an unlikely hero because, okay, day 8 of CaribAthon list challenges, and I'm here with the kiddo who is currently enjoying the shade. Say hi.
Hi.
Good job.